Today, we're going to take a look at virtuals because I believe virtuals has bottomed and the market is showing strength for altcoins. So this would be the perfect time to get into altcoins that you think are going to outperform the main coin, Bitcoin, for the next couple of months. And over here, we have a roundup from the virtuals team showing us what they have accomplished in the past 2 months. And it mainly revolves around ACP, which is Agent Commerce Protocol. And essentially what they've done is made it easier for people to interact with ACP through Butler on X as they deployed him onto the actual feed, which is really cool to see. Another thing that happened within virtuals is that they deployed payments for ACP. So you guys can see here, USDC became available for ACP, enabling agents global settlement, which is really cool. It means that agents are able to interact with each other and actually pay each other for the services they are providing each other. So I think this is just the start of the narrative coming out. This is very early, but I think it's going to shape how virtual progresses in the coming months. And especially the agents that interact with ACP are going to be extremely important, which is why I'm going to talk about Santa later, as I have mentioned it a couple of times. So as you guys can see here, the closing statement is Agent Commerce Protocol, Butler, and Genesis each advanced this summer. The ecosystem is beginning to scale across continents, which is huge. These may be incremental steps, but each one brings closer to the larger vision. Now, the important thing here is to realize that we don't need the whole thing to be online and thriving just for this to make a move up to the billions once again. All we need is the narrative to show up and actual progress to happen and the sector to catch fire for us to actually take out all-time highs, which is about $5. So I think we can do that. I think we're going to see between $10 to $15 by the end of the cycle, potentially higher. I'm staying a little conservative. If you were here last cycle, you would know a lot of projects simply were able to run to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 billions of dollars. But if we just take it between 15 and 20, that puts virtuals at 15 to $20 billion. Now, what's more important here is that you can capture the upside on virtuals using certain agents. And there are a bunch of agents within virtuals that can give you exposure to ACP. Now, if you take a look at this web right here, you can see Axelrod there. We got WAC, we got Swarm, we've got Loki, AIXPT. And some of these agents are more integral to the ACP network. I think Luna plays a good part in it. Axelrod plays a huge part in it. And then we have Trust, DGNC, WAC, and each one plays a role. So I'm going to point out to you guys the ones that play the biggest role, and that has to be Loki right there. Loki is going to play a huge role by providing data to all the agents that need to communicate with each other. So any more agents that come online, Loki is going to be playing a huge part in that. And then we have WAC, which plays in the verification. If we just click on that, you guys get to see the description of what each agent does. And if we click on WAC right there, we can see that WAC functions as a unified verification agent that delivers on-chain due diligence for tokens both on Base and Solana. So it's going to play a huge role in the ACP network. Now, my focus has been mainly on Santa, simply because I think Santa is going to play a huge role in ACP. It is embedded within the ACP network. It is foundational to ACP. And as it says right here, it opens a rabbit hole. One end connects the user to ACP services. The other offers QuestFlow's full capabilities to agents. And if you guys do not know who QuestFlow is, QuestFlow is the orchestration layer for multi-agent economy, orchestrate multiple AI agents to research, take action, and earn rewards autonomously. And recently, they raised $6.5 million from a bunch of VCs. Really important to pay attention to because they are pioneering the agent economy. They've also got relationships with Coinbase as well as virtuals to connect them together. So I think a lot of people are sleeping on the connections that QuestFlow has that are offered through Santa. And if we simply take a look at the GDP through QuestFlow, you guys can see cumulative trading volume is 22 million. Cumulative agentic GDP is about $900. Now, I know this isn't much, but we are at the very beginning of this, and this is going to continue to scale as more agents come online and transact within their network. So as you guys can see, if we go over here to the QuestFlow platform, we can see the most used agent right there with 733 requests. And you can see the revenue is currently 18. Again, it's not much, but it's the narrative that counts, where Santa is actually being used among all these different agents. And that's because it has 13 agents attached to Santa as a swarm. So really useful stuff coming out of QuestFlow. And the more agents that come online on ACP and the more activity there is on ACP, obviously, the more Santa is going to be used and earning more revenue. So it's worth paying attention to the virtuals eco right now because I think things are going to heat up. Virtuals is going to go up in market cap. Obviously, the blue chips of the virtuals ecosystem, which is going to be Mamo, Tibber, AIXPT, are all going to gain value. And I think those are extremely easy plays. But then you've got the coins that are sub 10 million, sub 5 million. You've got Arbis, which is like the Cookie.fun or Kato equivalent, but for virtuals. You've got Whale Intel. These are just some coins that you want to dig into and see which ones have potential. I don't have that much exposure to all these different coins. I have a little bit of Arbis, I've got some Santa. I've also got some Min, which isn't part of this, but it's just a different AI agent on its own, separate from ACP, still within the Virtuals ecosystem though. And there's a bunch of agents as well on Creator Bid, which is part of the BitTensor subnet narrative, which I think is worth getting into, especially with the prediction markets that it offers on subnet. So you've got Sire, you've also got Aeon. I think those are worth a look at, but I think we are heating up on the AI section of things. If we just take a look at the total market cap, we can see we've made a nice recovery back into this little triangle. And once we break up above it, we're going to see some major AI moves. We still need to see Tau perform better. It's showing some strength, but until we get up above 360, I wouldn't get too excited. Of course, we've got the target of about 600 and way beyond that, about 1,200, 1,300. I think we're going to see that towards the end of the year. So I'm extremely excited for AI. It is taking a long time as the markets have been a little bit boring the past few weeks, but I think it's going to reward those who have been patient and picked out their choices for the months to come. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video today, guys, and I'll see you guys again next time.